In just under 3 minutes, I'm going to show you how to get this from this, using T238's new spiral gear set. T238 sent me their new 13:1 spiral gear set to test out and review. As a bit of a caution, the spiral gear set requires a D-type shaft on your motor opposed to a round one. You'll also need a gear puller or pinion gear tool to pop up the pinion and press on the new one, which is the first step to completing this gearbox upgrade. Before you go pounding on the motor, don't forget to undo the set screw, which is common to D-type shaft motors. My pinion gear tool was actually also just meant for round motor shafts, so I had to use a center punch tool with a narrower taper tip to be able to push the motor and pinion apart. As step 2, I always like to set my bushings in with epoxy before upgrading, as it ensures uniform shimming and helps keep noise down in case the bushings spin. Anytime you get new gears, you also have to reset your motor height. I start with the half shell method to get the motor pinion gear alignment pretty close, and it can be fine-tuned later if needed. The half shell method is useful because it allows you to see the pinion and bevel gear contact and overlap very clearly. To do it, just install half the gearbox shell, your grip, motor, bevel gear, and the motor end plate to adjust the motor height until you have an ideal overlap contact and angle. Next thing is you always have to reshim when you install a new gear set. T238 also sent me over one of their new shim pack sets that includes 0.5mm, 0.3mm, 0.2mm, and 0.1mm thick shims. With shimming, be sure to secure your gearbox halves together with enough screws every time you open and close it. Yes, it's tedious, and yes, there's lots of opening and closing, just don't be that guy that shims it while holding the gearbox together with finger pressure. Once you're happy with the shim job and you've test fired it dry, you can go ahead and grease the gears. Hit all the steel to steel contact surfaces with your favorite gear grease. Here, I'm using modified gear grease. With any new component addition, you always want to check for conflicts. In this build, I found the sector gear nub stuck out more than my stock gear set, so it actually conflicted and gouged out part of my upper gearbox half of this ICS her arms. To fix this problem, I just had to file down the sector gear nub a bit to get it to clear just fine. Showing this as a bonus, but when you're installing your gear set, you may as well check and correct the angle of engagement, or AOE. AOE is the contact angle between your sector gear and the piston pickup tooth. To fix this, you want to rotate your gear set back just a little bit to get maximum contact on pickup, and then adjust your piston to that position by either using sorbethane or neoprene pads on the cylinder head, or like in this case, you can use piston head spacers for this FPS Air piston head that is uniquely designed to accommodate AOE correction. Finally, you can go on to full assembly. Then you can power it up, and then really test fire. Spiral gear sets are typically quieter and can take higher stress. However, in most airsoft builds, it's not really a problem. Due to the teeth angles, they can be more difficult to shim, but if you can get them shimmed correctly, their quieter sound and durability can be a big plus. So,